guys, thanks for stopping in. It's Tommy with Tommy Your Awesome Music. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, head to the link below, go to my website, and download your first free guitar course. Okay, let's get right to it. You probably clicked in today's video to learn how to take your basic chord progressions like and turn them into something more interesting like But first, you need to learn a few things. Now, there's a couple added techniques I'm not going to mention in this video that you just saw there, but the core foundation of what took me from and put me on that next level was broadening my chord vocabulary. So if you're still stuck on your open chords and your bar chords, major and minor, etc., you don't really have enough of a vocabulary to take that next step. So you need to learn things like major and minor seventh chords, dominant seventh chords, diminished seventh chords, half diminished seventh chords, and even major and minor sixth chords. And that should take you and give you enough tools to build the foundation for that next step that you're trying to get to. You know, creating a more interesting sound or adding some dissonance that actually attracts the ear of the listener. So let's take a deep dive right into this fretboard and figure out the chords you need to learn. Okay, so I'm going to fly through these pretty quickly, but don't worry, if things start moving too fast, you can always head to the settings wheel and slow the video down. All right, the first section of chords we're going to focus on are going to be your root 6, major, minor, diminished, half diminished, seventh chords. Okay, so we have a major 7 on the root 6. See the A, root 6 string? Okay. You're muting your A string here and your high E string here. The next chord we're going to learn would be your A minor 7. Okay, and there's other ways to play that. Pull that number. It's like your basic minor bar chord. Just take your pinky finger off. You can strum all 6 strings there. Now if you go back to the classic jazz version of the chord, you're going to be muting that A string and muting that high E string as well. Then we're going to have our our dominant 7 chord. Okay. What's the difference between a major 7 and a dominant 7 and a minor 7? Well, a major 7 formula would be a 1, 3, 5 major 7. A minor 7 formula would be a 1, flat 3, 5, and a flat 7. And then a dominant 7 is going to have a 1, major 3rd, 5, and a flat 7. So it's like a mix between the two. You're also still muting your A string and your high E. Okay, next chord we're going to focus on would be our fully diminished 7th chord on the root 6, A diminished 7. A string is muted. This finger is barred, ring finger is down here, A in the root, and then our high E string is muted. Then we'll have our half diminished chord. Okay. The difference between a fully diminished and a half diminished 7th chord is that in the fully diminished 7th chord, the 7 is flatted twice, so it's known as a double flat 7. Taking this note and moving it down here. So there's our half diminished. And that'll do it for your root 6 7th chords. Now let's talk about some root 5 7th chords. We have our D major 7 here. And for a D minor 7, it's going to look like this. Now these chords I'm barring all the way through, and I'm not playing the low E string, obviously. Now we're going to have a D dominant 7 chord. Okay, that's like your major 7, but you're just going to take your middle finger off. Major 7, middle finger off. Now you have a dominant 7 chord on the root 5. Root 5. See the D? Root 5. D dominant 7. Okay. Now we'll talk about our fully diminished 7th chord on the root 5. Okay. And here's our half diminished. It's like a major 7 chord on the root 5, but we're going to scrunch it all in here. Now for these last 2 chords, I'm only playing the middle strings. I'm not playing the high E or the low E. Okay. Now let's talk about our 6th chords. So I will play an A major 6th chord. It's going to look like this. Okay. Now let's play an A minor 6th chord. Okay. Now let's play a root 5 version of those 2 chords, but in the key of D. So we'll play a D major 6th chord. Okay, it's going to look like this here. Has like that A minor shape. So I'll just put that D in the root there. So take that A minor shape, slide it up a whole step, put your pinky on that D root, and you've got a D major 6 chord on the root 5. Okay, now a D minor 6 is going to look just like the shape of that major 6th chord on the root 6. Now we played an A major 6 right here. Just take that down exactly 1 set of strings. Mute that D string for this one. And you're playing a D minor 6 chord. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a major and minor 6 chord on the root 4 string. Okay. So a major G6 would look like this. G major 6. With G in the root. Okay. Now a G minor 6 would look like this. It's just like that minor 7th shape on the root 5. Remember this guy? That'd be a D minor 7. If you take that down a set of strings, you've got a G minor 6th chord. There you have it. If you like this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and be sure to tune back in for when we do stuff like this again.